got some good news for some drivers who were caught up in between the storm between the FMCSA and some ELD companies that they put on the revoked list.
Right.
Let's see here. We got the Federal Motor Carrier, where the FMCSA has reapproved power trucks ELD devices. I repeat, they have reapproved power trucks ELD devices for continued use after it was revoked earlier this month, back on December the 1st. Power trucks was one of the 10 electronic logging devices removed from the FMCSA's registered list due to technical compliance issues. Thousands of truck drivers face the possibility of switching back to paper logs or replacing their hardware. But today there is some relief for the FMCSA announced the power truck ELD is now back online
Okay.
and back on their approved list here. So the first the first company, it was two. It was 10 of them total that was revoked. That was revoked. The
Right.
first one that came into compliance, it was called CV Options LLC. They was reinstated on December the 8th.
Okay.
So that leaves 8 more left, which they got plenty of time. They got
Yeah.
plenty of time to
Yeah,
get
they
it
do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, give us some of the requirements, for the people who want to know what were some of the requirements that they needed to meet that caused them to get revoked.
Okay, so yeah, so some of the minimum requirements that the FMCSA has laid out was the first one was no editing of automatically recorded drive time data. So they saying that the ELD must not allow for drivers to or the administrators to edit any driving time that is recorded automatically based on vehicle motion. Any edits made must be visible at roadside inspection. We talked about that once before they came out with the mandate. They was allowing the administrators to give their drivers like a 10 like a 10-15 mile variance
Right,
on their drive time, and the administrators could edit the log. So if a driver said that he started his log uh too early, or it was a false start, they can go in and change it.
right,
Now they
right.
can't do that. So if you started your log too early and it was by accident or something like that, hey, tough luck. Your company cannot no longer go in and make that edit for you.
Right, right.
That second minimum requirement, was accurate recording per ELD technical specifications.
Mhm.
The ELD must capture and record all movement, duty status changes, locations, and other data points in accordance with all the parameters spelled out in the FMCSA's technical documentation. Any discrepancies or apparent gaps in the compliance may risk the ELD losing certification.
Right.
The number three one is a capability to provide timely responses and updates. The LD provider must have the capability to respond to and address any issues raised by the FMCSA about the device's logs and recordings within required timeframes. This includes making technical fixes and modifications when necessary. Non responsiveness risk revocation. I wonder if that's some of the reason why some of those got placed on that blacklist. Got blacklisted. I wonder if they responded in a timely frame to any issues. Did the FMCSA reach out to them? You know.
Yeah, the FMCSA sent out emails according to this guy that owned Blue Ink
Okay.
ELD.
Okay.
Um I think his last name Regal. And
Okay.
he said that they do reach out, but they were either probably just purposely ignoring it, or they probably didn't pay it no mind because there's no telling how many emails they get from the FMCSA that it's an update on this, or they advertising this, or they have this banquet going on, and it could have
Right.
been easily overlooked. But at the same time, when you look at the minimum requirements that they want, that's too much like putting the shackles on drivers, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because
Yeah.
anybody who say they running the trucking business right now, honest, in my opinion, I think you're telling. Well, I think you're being dishonest. I really think you're being dishonest, because there's no way you can be successful in the trucking industry right now with the change that's going on, because we caught up in the middle of a change in systems, a change in regulations. So there's no way you could be running it honest because nobody is fully used to what's going on. Because the only ones that really got the heads up are the ones that's a member of organizations like the ATA, way well before the change happened. So it's kind of hard to be successful when they got all these changes going on. Them requirements that they want, that meant a lot. That really helped out a lot on
Yeah.
being able to move around, find parking. You I mean, you 20 miles out from your delivery and you got to shut down for 10 hours. No, real trucker's not gonna shut down a full 10 hours and you only 10 miles out. He gonna PC in,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So there's I know it's the rule. No, we're not supposed to go against the rule, but rules are made by man. You see, they got other stuff going on. They trying to create that just don't make no sense. Just because it's a rule, in my opinion, doesn't mean it makes sense.
Yeah. I understand.
This is gonna cause so much shit. I mean, like one hand, you don't want drivers parking on the side of the road to get their break in. Then on the other hand, you want to nitpick at these requirements that can allow them to get somewhere safe. If the
Yeah.
administrator can't change anything, how can he get the driver in a safe parking spot? I mean, you really changing a lot right there with these minimum requirements.
Yeah.
You saying whatever driver run out of time at, that's where he got to shut down, but you don't want him there. Where he's shutting down at, you don't want him there. He wake up, he might be booted, or he might be hooked up to a tow truck now. So what's really going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. Those are a lot of issues. So when you say you don't think that too many are being successful, what would be the definition of success? Just in terms of being successful. Ju-
Success is really your own preference, but the true definition of success is when your assets outweigh your liabilities. But when I'm talking about in the trucking industry with the rates, well, like during this holiday season, the rates being okay but not consistent. I mean, what kind of success can you have when you in a business where every minute counts?
Right.
I need every second, every minute to count. If I'm getting held up in traffic, that's killing my time. We've seen traffic in a lot of these places. I had a guy that was driving back and forth down there in Florida, Tampa, 70 miles away. This man had to take back roads and
Yeah.
all this kind of crap just to get around traffic. Every driver don't know how to navigate the highways like that because we
That's
got so
true.
many new guys coming in.
That's true.
So yeah, it's going to be difficult to be successful with a market where the rates are low and the regulations are putting a severe strain on you.
Yeah. And those all of those things coming together does make everything tough for the owner operator.
Yeah. Can you imagine the audits that's going to be getting ready to start coming down now if they hadn't already started doing it? If they doing all this, that's right around the corner. When we got started, we had our the audits that they normally do, your
Right.
input and
Your
all
first
that.
audit. Yeah.
Right. And they tell you like every what, like 20 some odd months or so that you'll have another audit coming up and we never saw another one came. Well, I know I didn't.
Right.
And
Right.
so now this probably finna pick up. How many guys are gonna be ready? How many guys are gonna have their paperwork in order? Um, Now the laws are, the regulations are so tight now, you can't really cheat. And then you got these brokers that don't understand the trucking side. You got so many brokers that never been in a truck. And
Yeah.
they act like you supposed to fly over traffic.
Right. They want you to get it there. A lot of
And
them.
most of them don't even understand the regulations.
Right.
But they want you to make it happen. So you're dealing with a lot right there. You're dealing with. if you can't get this broker to understand, if he's just an agent and the only thing he's concerned is when you book the load, you're supposed to get it there. It's gonna be difficult to have continuing success, in
Right.
my opinion, with all this going on. Because like I say, the dynamic of the industry is changing
It is.
and it's changing drastically. So we caught up in the midst of this change.
Right. And we don't know what the new norm is going to be.
Right.
You
You
know,
don't know
yeah.
exactly.
Every time there's a major shift in the industry, there's always a new norm, and you don't know what that new norm is going to be and how long it's going to
Right.
last before it changes to another new norm.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
So
so it is what it is on